Okay, so here we've got the this is the 27-ton Signature Series 2017 model. Pretty good machine. We've got here on this is the large model. Because it's got the 24-inch head. So you're able to do a lot bigger dies, kind of like what we've got here as our example for today. We can either cut it long ways or width-wise. So we've got the large, the medium, and the small, just depending on what you guys are needing. Obviously, depending on the size, the price varies. If you're not needing quite 24 inches, we can get you into a little bit smaller size. Still the 27 tons, but smaller size, so that you're able to still have the pressure that you need, but not pay quite as much for it. So, like I said, really good machine. One of the added features to it is we do have the electronic rising for the head right here, instead of having to crank a wheel, kind of like on some of the other machines that are out there. This one's all electronic, so it is actually raising and lowering the head. So it's not quite as hard to have to do that. We've got the potentiometer right here, and this is what's controlling either, depending on the mode that you're in, covering or adjusting, the distance, the travel distance on how far, or also the pressure, depending on how much pressure you're wanting to apply to it. And that's adjusted right here, depending on which mode you're in. So if you're wanting to cut by distance, so I need to go down this much, then that's the mode you're going to want to be in. If you're more cutting off of pressure, then you switch to the other one, and you can increase your pressure slowly until it finally makes the cut, and that's going to work out really well for you. So we'll go ahead and fire it up, show you guys how it works, explain just some of the the mechanics of it and everything. So you've got your on switch right here, and then your motor on switch right here. So you see the head does rise up once you get it turned on. Head's super easy to move, even though it's the really large size. Makes it really nice, able to get it all the way out of the way. So you've got your whole working area, you can see exactly what you're doing and work with that. So you just got some example material right here. Say we're just cutting out just these circles out of some paper. So you're going to go ahead, there's two ways you can do it. You can either cut down into a cutting board, or you can take the cutting board, top mount it on the head, and you can actually put your die down, cut like this, and then apply pressure down. So it depends on what you're needing to do, the material you're working with, a lot of things go into it, but those are the two options that you have. Go ahead, we're going to cut down into the cutting board. We're putting our material down, then we have our die, where we're setting up, right where we want to cut it, put it in place. We're going to move the head over, right over the top of it, and then depending on which option you want, you can either cut by depth or cut by pressure. So right now we're in the pressure mode, so it doesn't matter the starting height of the head. I can have the head up as high as I want, go up. Gives me more room to mess around to move my die, but also at the same time you're going to be wasting a little bit of time because you have to wait that much longer for the head to go down and come back up. So we'll move the head down a little bit. Get ourselves a little bit closer. Start that right there. And we always tell our customers, start at 0 when you're adjusting either your depth or the pressure. Because if you have too much depth or too much pressure when you're trying to cut, you're going to sink your die right into your cutting board. You're either going to score the cutting board, or both. You're going to get the die stuck inside that cutting board, and by trying to pull it out, you're either going to pull the steel rule out of the wood backing, or you're going to bend the steel rule. Either is bad, so want to try to refrain and stay away from that as much as we can. So that's why we recommend starting at 0. And you'll see as I go to cut, it's going to go down, and it's just going to touch the top of the material, and that's all it does. Just barely tapping the top of the die. So now as I increase this, you'll hear it stressing out just a little bit more. You're going to hear the
motor spin down just a little bit, and that's kind of what we're looking for. It's what we want to hear. So as we go ahead and turn this over, we see that that pressure was enough to go ahead and cut the material that we're looking for. Now I can go ahead, set these off to the side. If I have enough room, maybe I want to do one more row right here. Set that right there. Put the head over the top. So that's how that works. That's cutting in pressure. And just to re-explain how that works, the pressure is all determined by this potentiometer right here. What you're doing is at 0, you're telling it you want it to come down and just touch the top of the die. So as soon as it senses that there's any resistance or any kickback, that's where it's going to stop. And as you increase this, you're increasing how much you want it to push down or how much pressure you want it to apply once it finally hits or senses some pushback from the die and the material. The next option is going cutting by depth. So we're going to switch it back to T right here. And now what this is going to do is from wherever you have the head set, the starting height of the head, it's going to cut down whatever distance you have here and then come back up. So right now, I have the head, let's say, I have the head set to right here. At 0, the head is barely going to go down at all. But as I increase this, it's how far the head is going to go down. So the way that you're going to set this up, same way, grab your material, put your die in place, put the head over top of it. When you're cutting off of distance, we recommend keeping the head with about a 1/4 inch above the material in the die. So that's really good. Makes it so you're not wasting time waiting for the head to go up and down. And you don't have to turn your potentiometer up as much when you're doing that. So we're at about 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch. We're going to do a little bit more right there. Now we're going to start at 0 right here with our potentiometer. So the head should barely go down at all. You see, the head's not going, we're not even touching the material yet. Now we're going to slowly increase. Turn it in a little bit more. There we go. So everyone, depending on their material, they're going to know the sound of when it's finally made its cut. And you can see right here, we didn't quite make it through all the way. So we will go ahead and move this over a little bit, increase the depth just by a little bit. There we go. It's best go as slow as you can, increase your pressure or depth, either one, depending on what setting you're on. And you're just going to slowly increase it until you make a clean cut. So now that you've got it set up, you can go ahead, set this off to the side, grab your next sheet, and do another. Now that everything's set up, you don't have to mess with anything. You leave it exactly how it is. Cut it. Pick up your pieces. Got our trash pieces here. These ones. And that's how it works. So just kind of re-explaining everything. You have your 2 cutting settings. T is cutting by distance. So you're determining how far from the starting point you want the head to come down. So you're going to increase this to make the head come farther down until it is able to push the die through your material into the cutting board. If you're on P, cutting by pressure. Pressure is once it comes down, no matter where the starting height is with the head, it's going to come down until it makes contact, and then it's going to add
depending on how much pressure you have set here, it's going to add that amount of pressure to the die. So it's going to keep pushing until it achieves that pressure that you've set. Again, pressure does not matter where the starting height of the head is when you're cutting by distance or in T mode. That is going to have everything to do with however high you start with this head. That's why I recommend having the head at anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch off the top of the die, because you only get a certain amount of throw when you're cutting with distance. So you're going to increase your cutting depth little by little, and you'll see the head go a little deeper and deeper and deeper until it finally touches. Then keep increasing it just a little bit until it has enough depth to be able to cut through the material that you're looking for. So, like we said, really good machine, especially the large head model like we have right here, 24 by 24. You're able to cut anything from leather, fabrics, plastics, cardboard, even up to thin wood, things like that. So they're really good for a lot of the different industries that are using them. So any questions, feel free. Check out the website, clickerpress.com or the CJRtec.com, and or feel free to give us a call, and we'll answer any questions that you have.
CJRtec has been in the manufacturing business for more than a decade, with offices in the USA, Philippines, Korea and China. We are an international company with sales all over the world. CJR specializes in all types of specialized cutting machines, with emphasis on automated cutting. Nearly all of our machines are customer-built to customer-specific needs. CJR is not the only company in this market segment, but they are the only company that can make custom machines from 10 tons to 350 tons in a variety of table sizes and machine types. Today, CJR enjoys annual sales that nearly doubles all USA-based competition, with the best warranty in the business and the best customer service anywhere. If you want to do business with a company that always answers the phone and values customer service over anything else, you're in the right place. Welcome to CJRtec, a different type of company.